What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It does not matter how you feel about this video. We all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into the video.
Exercise. This great planner, life planner, George Kinder, has his clients start with these three questions, and this is where all financial planning should start. If you had all the money in the world, money will never be a problem. You'll never have to pay another bill. Never have to worry about money again. What would you do with your life and your time? So I want everybody out there to think about that. And then think about if you found out, you go to the doctor, you found out you have 5 to 10 years left to live. It's not going to be a long, drawn-out sickness, but just a quick death. How would you change your life? 5 to 10 years left to live. And where would you be? Who would you be with? And the last question is, if you found out this is it, this is your last day here on planet Earth as you are now, it's not what would you do, it's like, what are your regrets? What are you sorry you didn't do in this precious life that's about to end? And when people go through that exercise, they see, it illuminates how much time, money, and resources we spend on things that are not authentically important to us.
Exactly.
And how I try to help people is, if you align your finances with what's really important to you and get that visceral connection to who you are, your goals, and your values, money will flow.
Yeah. No, that's
It will definitely flow. But a lot of times people will set financial goals based, and they don't even realize it. I'm setting a financial goal to live like this, to live here, to live that. That's not what's authentically important to you.
Yeah.
So figure out who you really are, what's really important to you. And to me, money's only use and its most important use is it really shines a light on where you're not living in step with what's really important.
And it might not even be around much longer.
I know, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it can set you off on a very worthwhile personal journey and use it for that, and then it flows around you.
Yeah, I believe every individual has to take it seriously. They have to.
I think I like the way that she formulated all of that, but when people do live every day intentionally, it is a difference. When people are if you're chasing literally dollars, it's going to be harder for you to get it when you're chasing it. But when you are connected to your purpose, to something that makes you happy, you're working towards things and the money is flowing, but at the same time, you're constantly working towards that thing because it's something that you feel so drawn to, so connected to, it makes you really happy. So it's like a cycle that's just going to keep on going. You know what I'm saying? Whereas people who wake up and like, oh man, I gotta get to work, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, everybody has to, not everybody, but like people have to work so that we're able to live, right? So we can buy food, so we can have a house, so we can have like transportation, whatever it is, And I genuinely feel like it's not something that should be dreaded. If you're somebody who likes a certain aspect of certain things, you can find different career paths that align with that. That way that it's not such a burden because, a lot of people, where they work is where they spend most of their time, 40 hours a week, every day, Monday through Friday, they're at this place that they can, essentially either be really happy at or unhappy at. And that's where you're spending majority of your time. So I think it is important to find something that aligns with you, but that also fulfills a certain need within you that makes you happy.
It's like your own business. If you don't have a business, your personal finance should be your business. You should be studying. You should be reading. You should be educated. You should make sure you are making the correct decisions for the life that you want, after you answer those three questions. Because if you don't, something's going to happen. You try to buy a home or, some unfortunate medical bill and you're not going to be prepared. Right. And now you're going to try to play catch up. And a lot of people who try to play catch up, they stay in a rat race. And they stay in a rat race now.
You get in that mentality where that affects decision making.
Yes.
People, it affects how they make decisions about their jobs, where they're going to live. And you get in this poverty mindset. And from that level, you keep making decisions that keep you there.
Exactly.
But we don't, just like we were talking about, people can have accidents. You can lose your job. You can have, life happens. And we don't think those things should set you out on a course of financial ruin. And that's what Stellar's about.
Yes.
And we talked to people for months. We did surveys to find out what their real financial challenges are. So we built this collectively with our community, for our community.
And like I said, I think that's beautiful because I feel like a lot of people may feel like they're in that position, and they need to know that there are programs and apps out there that can get out of that rat race or those bad decision-making skills, because we have to continue going. We have to keep trying. You don't want to be in a level where you just stop and just like, oh, this is my financial future now. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, there's so many things that you can do to get yourself out of it.
I'm signing my mom up for Stellar right away. You know, I had a conversation with her.
She can't enter the contest, though.
No, she can't. Well, why not? No, I'm kidding.
And the winner of the contest is Mama Lee.
We're giving away $70,000.
Sheesh! I need a little bit of that.
Is he eligible? No, you guys aren't eligible.
No. We're eligible.
As long as we don't get married, you're eligible.
Okay, cool. I'll take that.
Okay.
I can wait.
I think it's more likely not going to happen. So,
On January 11th, people
you
who sign up for the Stellar waitlist, we're going to have one grand prize winner, and that grand prize winner is going to get $10,000 worth of bills paid through Stellar. They sign up for Stellar. Angela's mom under an alias and a wig, and we're going to pay $10,000 worth of your bills through Stellar, and you get a 1-year subscription. We have 20
second prize winners and 300 third prize winners.
Yeah, and the second prize winners, we're going to pay $500 towards you. You're going to sign up for Stellar, and we're going to apply $500 towards your bills. And the other winners, you get $100, and both of those comes with 6-month subscriptions. And when you sign up for the wait list, you're going to get a link. Like, you know how like apps tell you invite a friend? And for every friend you invite, you get another entry. And you can get up to 20 entries.
Okay.
So everybody sign up for that wait list.
That's dope. I mean, I'm finding out about this stuff right with you guys, but I think that's good. I think that people, especially our people, right? We need to have more financial literacy. I feel like a lot of us just repeat cycles, work paycheck to paycheck, spend most of our money on bills and food just because we really don't know any better, and we don't know how to operate with money, because a lot of us grew up not having it, or not having full access to it, or growing up in financially stable homes. So a lot of people grow up and they become adults, and then they don't know how to operate with money. And so I think it's important to get in the know of finances, know how to structure your own finances, as well as saving is so important. Saving money for a rainy day. Not just because you have money that you're given or you get paid and you have like this leftover lump sum of money, that means that you have to spend it all frivolously. Like, no, you have to think about that rainy day. You have to think about, unexpected situations where you might need it, flat tire, whatever the case is. It's very important to have that kind of mindset with money, not just, getting all you can and canning all you get,
Please.
No, and all this, because it's funny, because the question that you asked that same question to us the first time we recorded. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah.
But I remember you asked that. But even greater, there was another point that you said during our first episode. You may or may not remember, but it's so relevant to today's conversation. And one of the points that you brought up is that, and I'm paraphrasing it, so if I butcher it, it's not saying Stacey said this verbatim. But one of the points you brought up was that for a lot of men, when they're not in the most financially stable environments, when they don't feel competent, that's one of the reasons why they leave their families.
I remember, oh, this always makes me cry. So I have a financial literacy program called Winning Plays, and it's a curriculum for high school and actually elementary through early college students that helps to develop a healthy relationship with money.
Good.
And there's a lesson on gender, how gender plays out in your financial beliefs. And it was being piloted at a high school in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I was like in the back, just trying to see how the teacher taught the class and stuff. And they were talking about how, what are the things about, it starts with a man and a woman go into a car dealership. Who gets the higher price for the car? And everybody knew women because they think of this, they think of that. Easy conversation. But then we get to men's relationship with money. And I had them look at a Cambridge University study found that 6 months after losing their jobs, men start go into a chemical depression. It's like a physiological depression because they've been conditioned since the caveman days to provide and protect, provide and protect. And if they can't do that, women actually value them. Like, I'm a neuroscience nerd. Our brains make us feel about ourselves by how we nurture. Men's brains make them feel about themselves about how they provide. So we're having this conversation, and this kid raises his hand, and it makes me cry when I think about it. And he's like, maybe that's why my dad left. Wow. And the teacher wasn't expecting the conversation to go there, and he's like, if he couldn't do the one thing he was supposed to do, maybe he felt like, we were better off without him. And this girl raises her hand, and she's like, in lions, when the male starts taking food away, when there's not enough food, and the male starts taking resources away, they leave. And how it's an animal thing. And if you just put that, mental reality on our community and the messaging that Black men get, it's just too much.
Yeah.
And they don't feel like they have anything to add. And because we attach so much to money, it's like, the role modeling, the love you support, the emotional support you give for your kids, that's what's going to matter. But when you don't feel good about yourself, and that's why we're trying to de-link the way.
Because society makes men feel really bad if they don't have it. Like,
and this is 100%. And I was really intrigued to see how this conversation was going to go, just because I saw like Angela Yee in the icon too, because I feel like there's so many different conversations about men. Get the bag. He has to get the bag for you. Even girls that are young, straight out of high school, have these high expectations when it comes to young men with money. And I love the fact that they are expressing the truth about the pressure that it is on our men. And I'm not saying that our men shouldn't be working hard or shouldn't be striving towards things, but we already know that, like, for our men, it's a big thing, because more times than not, we're the ones that grow up in the household without seeing that example, or without seeing somebody have done it first, or without seeing somebody, pushing the limit, or, maybe having certain successes. And of course, it's not all of our stories, but this is a big portion of our stories of what we've seen, or the struggle that we've seen or faced. So it is a difficult situation, but I think that it's important to emphasize the fact that, like, not only do men have different, mentalities when it comes to money, because, as a woman, when she's fresh out of high school, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? But, she has that blanket to kind of stay with her family as long as she wants to, she can kind of figure it out. And whereas a man, it's like, you're 18, you're a man now. Like, what are you going to do? You have expectancy now from life. You have expectancy from women who that you're going to, ultimately approach or be interested in. You have so much expectancy about, what it is that you're going to do. What kind of man are you going to be at such a very, very young age? At such it's an early thing that you have to have it together. So I love that they're expressing that so openly and so strongly, because I know it to be true. We know it to be true, but it's something that needs to be out there, that even the women play a part to this. Like, there's not enough grace within the relationships with these men and with the finances, The fact that these kids can stand up and say, hey, maybe that's why he left, because he couldn't do this, or, maybe his mother made his father feel like a piece of crap, or made him feel worthless, and that's why he left as well, because of his inability to provide in a certain way or in a certain manner, Maybe he felt like his manhood was stripped from him. So this is a very, very deep conversation.
Just society?
Well, we're trying to change society.
They do. Because you see all these girls getting Birkin bags and cars around the holidays.
I believe all that's all cap now. After my tax season, I'm like, everybody, something is going on, man. They can't, something ain't right. For real.
But, I remember when I was younger, this guy that I used to date, he told me at first the reason he never asked me out earlier was because he didn't really have a lot of money. So he didn't even feel like he could take me on, like, a good enough date. And I was like,
that's not important.
Yeah, it's really not that important. I'm the type of person I could have went and had turkey burger and fries and been good.
And wasn't it, I don't know what happened, but him telling her that probably actually brought them closer sit together.
No.
I'm about to say now, you ain't gonna never know who that is. My brother, I am praying for you.
Somebody was honest with you. I can't take you to a nice restaurant because I can't afford it. Versus they just were like, oh.
Yeah. So she
Tough,
probably
and
said,
like,
that,
"Oh, that's
now
a
when
good
you can
one."
afford it, come back and see me. No. But no, I think, and here's the thing. I love what you're saying. I love what both of you guys were saying because it's important that men don't find their value in money because
Right.
what happens
Self-worth has nothing to do with net worth.
because you can have good years. Everyone has them. You have
Yeah.
good years. You have lean years. It's life, and you can't be like, well, when I have a good year, I'm a great man. When I have a bad year, I'm a bad man.
Yeah, I'm
It's
useless.
totally
Right.
disconnected. But at the same time,
Right.
I believe there's a level of responsibility that men need, and when they feel like they can competently take care of themselves and other people, it makes them feel good. So while I'm very interested into the study that shows when a man can pay his own bills and potentially, add value to the family, what that now does to his brain. So one of the things that we've always been big on, especially the past 2 years, is helping those guys feel financially competent with financial literacy,
Yeah.
with apps like Stellar, with all the program that we have with Marcus of Golden Sachs,
Yeah.
because we've noticed that there's a lot of men who they just don't know where to start.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
They just have no idea. Like you said, maybe their dad left because
Right.
he had no idea as well, and they're trying to break the cycle, but he has no idea what to start.
Yeah, I
offer-
think the hardest part is just getting started. And once you get started, you feel so great. Like you
100%,
start seeing your credit score going up, you start seeing bills getting paid off, and it does make you build more confidence and feel like, okay, I can really do this. But just getting started and signing up.
A great
And I feel like a lot of that is just like, a lot of people aren't prepared for the adulting, right? Like we always see these things like, oh, I have to adult today. Like, a lot of people aren't prepared for the adulting because, their parents were in survival mode of just figuring things out too. Their parents didn't really know either, but they were just figuring it out and making things work, And so when you don't know, I love what she said about like curriculums teaching that in school. I don't think curriculums teach that in a lot of schools, but I think it's very important. Like, teaching children about credit from a young age, teaching them how to deal with money and how to, put some money to the side and deal with this and deal with that. Like, I think that stuff is so important so that they're able to be functioning adults and are not figuring it out too late, How many people do we know that messed up their credit at a young age because they weren't aware of it? They didn't know what it meant. They just thought it was like free money from somewhere. And, kind of like frivolously spent things because they were just unaware. Awareness is so important, it's so important. And the reason why, especially this title says the biggest insecurity men deal with in 2022 is because we know, just like Yi said, about the emphasis on social media and how people are portraying things. And, not only do you have to just be financially stable, but you have to be like, nearly a millionaire, just for some women to think that you are, worth it or worth enough. And I like that they said, not putting your worth in how much money that you can make, but, just being intentional, being a good person, having good morals, having structure, having standards. Because let me tell you, there's some people who have money and have horrible credit and can't get anything. And then there's some people who, might be just comfortable in their lifestyle and have great credit and know how to manage money and are living more comfortably than the person who essentially you would look at that quote unquote has money. So, it's all about perspective. I definitely like this video. It's very, very informational. I'm going to have the full link to this video in the description box so you guys can go ahead and watch the entire video. I love the empowerment of our community. I love the tools and the resources that everybody is bringing together so that, we can all elevate and all, grow. And I think it's very, very important and essential. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. I do post a video every single day, but the time varies. So if you hit that bell, it will notify you when I do post. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.